interested, please attend. Again, that's every Saturday evening here at 7:45 p.m. Following the Tafsir series, you can stay and enjoy our weekly community iftar dinner that is held every Saturday here at the center. Tickets are only $10 per person, so bring your families and enjoy evening with your community. Please purchase tickets in advance so we know how much food that we need to make. You can also purchase your tickets from the office or from any of the board members, including myself, who are all selling tickets. Of course, the first Saturday iftar dinner is tomorrow, inshallah. So again, please purchase your tickets, and you're not going to find a better deal than $10 per person. This Sunday, May the 12th at 2 p.m. here at the center, our Imam Adij will be presenting a lecture titled Zakat Made Easy. If you're interested, please attend so that you can learn more about this important pillar of Islam. And speaking of zakat, please don't forget that this is the month of giving, so whatever you're able to give to your second home will be much appreciated. We also have a Ramadan competition for children and youth between the ages of 6 and 16 that's being held here at the center throughout Ramadan. There are numerous different competitions with different dates, so please see our newsletter for further details. Also, we have, on the topic of Ramadan, we have the book Fasting in Islam and the Preparation for Eternity that were written and done by Dr. Munir. They'll be at the front on the table, so if you're interested, help yourself to them. They're free. And our last important announcement is with regards to the Muslim seniors. Some of you may know that the Islamic Centre has been heavily involved in completing a needs assessment for London Muslim seniors. The purpose of this assessment is to determine what the needs are for our seniors and how London's Muslim organizations can best plan to meet their needs in the future. An important part of the assessment is to determine what makes up our seniors' population as well as their family support network. The Islamic Centre has engaged specialists at the University of Western to prepare and conduct a survey. To get a complete picture, we need the entire community to participate in the survey, as this is the first step in our planning. You will find a link to the survey on our newsletter, as well as on a table out in the front in the lobby. If you can please grab one of these pieces of paper, take it home, fill it out, complete the survey online, as you'll be helping reshape our future. The deadline for the survey is the end of Ramadan. And finally, I'll stop talking and introduce our guest speaker, which is Dr. Munir. Thank you very much for your time. Jazakallah khairan. Wassalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا
إن الحمد لله نحمده تعالى ونشكره ونستعين به ونسترشده ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وقائدنا ومرشدنا وحجتنا وشفيعنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كلام الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله وطاعته، وأحثكم على التمسك بهدي قرآنه وسنة نبيه. فقد قال الله جل من قائل: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام، إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون، أياما معدودات. صدق الله العظيم. My dear brothers, sisters, children, I remember as a student, as I advanced in my education, we took the same courses but in a more advanced fashion. However, every time we take a new course more advanced than the one in a previous year, always the first lecture, the first chapter is to recap the basics of the previous course. And then we keep on going and the same thing happens. Always, no matter how advanced we have become in mathematics, in physics, in biology, always the first chapter, the first lecture is to recap the basics of biology, mathematics, physics, and so on and so forth. And the same thing goes for the month of Ramadan. Before we go any further, we are still the 5th day of fasting in this great month of Ramadan. We really need to recap the basics. We need to remind ourselves what's ahead of us, even though we've done it before. But we want to make sure that we are doing the right thing, inshallah. So today you may hear things that you heard before, but inshallah it will be put in a way that will give it a new flavor, inshallah. Every year that Ramadan starts, I remember a hadith that I cannot shake from my memory. You heard it before, and I'd like to start with it because it puts things straight. Why Ramadan? Why fasting? You remember the story that was narrated by Al-Bazzar through the authority of Abu Hurairah, that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ one day ascended his mimbar, And by the way, the member of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was made of 3 steps. He used to sit on the 2nd step and sit on the 3rd. It was a very simple member. So he was ascending his member. He stopped on the 1st step and paused. Then he said, Ameen. Then he went on the 2nd step and then he paused and said, Ameen. And then, before he would turn and sit on the 3rd step, he said, Ameen. And then he turned and faced his companions. And he said what he wanted to say. When he came down, obviously, his companions asked him, O Messenger of Allah, we heard you say Ameen in a way that is so different than before. Why did you do that? So he explained to them that Jibreel alayhi salam came to me as I was ascending my member. And on the 1st step, he said, Raghima anf. رغم أنف من بلغ رمضان ولم يغفر له. He said to me, a loser is he. And I'm trying here to use terms that you cannot translate literally رغم أنف, because it will not make any sense. It was just a stylish Arabic way of saying a loser is he, who would go through Ramadan without his sins being forgiven. What a loser, as people say. And then on this, and I said, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ameen, because Ramadan is something big. And then on the 2nd step, Jibreel said, رغم أنف من أدرك أبواه عنده الكبر ولم يدخلاه الجنة. So I said, Ameen. So Jibreel said to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a loser is he whose parents reach old age during his lifetime and they do not be the cause of him entering Jannah. Meaning that he ignored them, he did not take care of them. What a loser. So I said, Ameen. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and then before he would turn, Jibreel said, رَغِمَ أَنْفُ مَنْ ذُكِرْتَ عِنْدَهُ وَلَمْ يُصَلِّ عَلَيْكَ. اللهم صل على سيدنا Muhammad. A loser is he in whose presence you will be mentioned without saying sallallahu alayhi wasallam. These are 3 very important things. And the first one is what really captures our imagination, captures our attention as we start this month, the month of reconciliation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shahru al-musalaha ma'Allah. The month when we find it so suitable because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He's calling us. And He's saying, is there someone who needs forgiveness? Is there someone who is repenting? Is there someone who wants to get closer to me? This is the month wherein we get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, closer I should say, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we know that there is a hadith narrated by everybody. And I say by everyone. It's not as some people will call muttafaq alayh. Muttafaq alayh, agreed upon, is a hadith narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. But this is a hadith that everyone, all 7 compilers of hadith narrated this hadith. من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. وفي رواية من قام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. He or she who fasts the month of Ramadan seeking to perfect his or her faith and seeking acceptance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from our almighty, loving, compassionate God. He or she who does that, all his sins will be obliterated. They will go away. So we have a chance now to start anew, and I say anew for those who have been trying to mix their life with things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not approve of. This is a month wherein we have to understand the purpose of fasting. As I said 2 weeks ago, if we look at fasting as abstinence from eating and drinking, we will suffer. We will suffer. You know, my son just came for, his break, and he said, I can't. I got so, because they had a basketball game, students and teachers. He was so tired. He said, I never felt like that before. And I said, don't think about it this way. Think about it that you've tried your very best. As some people told me, those who are following, football or soccer, and I said to somebody, you shouldn't be, but he said, I was so proud of a Moroccan soccer player who was fasting and he just scored a goal. I said, Alhamdulillah, if that is a form of da'wah during Ramadan, let it be. Ramadan is a month which is more than abstinence from eating and drinking. It's a month wherein we bring the values, the principles, the manners, the morality that Islam teaches us, and we put it into practice. This is our Islam. Our Islam is made of ibadat sha'airiyah, ibadat maliyah, and ibadat ta'amuliyah. Let me explain. Our deen, our way of life, Islam, is made of ritualistic acts of worship. It is made of financial acts of worship, and it is made of behavioral acts of worship. Put together, this is our Islam. We know that Salat, Hajj, Siyam, they are all ritualistic in nature. We know Zakat has a financial component to it when we give to the poor and the needy. And then there is that behavioral act of worship. When you help someone who's in need, when you help a blind person, do their chores, when you help your elderly neighbor remove their snow from their driveway, these are the akhlaq, and this is what Ramadan is all about. And I want to remind myself and you, some time ago, I forgot how long ago, I mentioned the story of Ja'far ibn Abi Talib when he went to the Negus and Najashi. When the first hijrah, the first migration, those few Muslims who went to Abyssinia, and then Najashi wanted to know, what is this Islam you are coming up with? So he asked, who is going to tell me what is Islam all about? So Ja'far bin Abi Talib stood and he told Najashi what Islam was and is and will be. And notice, when I will mention what Ja'far said, he didn't talk about Salat. He did not talk about fasting. He didn't talk about Zakat. He didn't talk about nothing. Look what he said. He said, Ya ayyuhal malik, kunna qawman ahla jahiliya, na'budu al-asnam, ونأتي الفواحش ونأكل الميتة ويأكل القوي منا الضعيف حتى بعث الله فينا رجلا دعانا أن نعبد الله وحده ودعانا أن نترك عبادة الأوثان والحجارة وأمرنا بصدق القول وأداء الأمانة وحسن الجوار وصلة الرحم والكف عن المحارم والدم. انتهى حديث جعفر. Let me translate, because this is our Islam. This is what we are trying to practice in a condensed form during the month of Ramadan. Because this is what Ramadan is all about. Within a framework of abstinence. And I will try to explain why abstinence. Now, Ja'far said, "O your Majesty, O your royalty, we used to be people of ignorance. We used to be people of ignorance. We worshipped statues and we committed sinful acts. We ate dead flesh, and the strong among us used to object, possess, subjugate those who were weak, until God sent from among us a man whom we were familiar with his honesty and his truthfulness and his ability to control his desires, and we knew his lineage. He called us to worship none other than one God. And he asked us to abolish the worship of stones and statues. And he commanded us to speak the truth and to give back the trusts that were given to us. And he asked us to honor blood relationships and be kind to our neighbors. And he asked us to honor life in whatever form it is. This is the end of what Ja'far ibn Abi Talib said to the Negus. Tell me where in this description of Islam he mentioned prayers, or he mentioned zakat, charity, or he mentioned fasting. Not that. I am saying this is not important. But in the beginning, when Islam started, Muslims did not pray the 5 daily prayers. They did not fast like we do. They did not give zakat. They did not go for hajj. Muslims were only being trained to adopt morality, to have the right behavioral acts of worship. This is Islam, and it continues to be. And now when salat and zakat and siyam and hajj came to our lives, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us why salat. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar wa la dhikrullahi akbar. Salat is meant to stop, to put a shield between us and abominations and wickedness. This is what prayer is all about. Fasting, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, taqwa. You know, that concept, that practice, that way of life that will immediately differentiates a person with righteousness from someone who doesn't have it. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps giving us this annual gift of fasting. Now, why abstinence? Why do we abstain from eating and drinking? Imagine that we train ourselves to abstain from halal. Eating is halal. Drinking is halal. Having matrimonial relationships between husband and wife is halal. But imagine that you train yourself to abstain and to learn how to abstain from halal. Wouldn't that help us to abstain from haram? If you abstained by your own will and desire from halal, then abstinence from haram will become so much easier. And let me just, condense what we do in this abstinence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and placed in us something that we have to learn how to control. And that is called, in Arabic, in the Quranic language, shahwa. In English, it's desire. God created us with desires. Everything. We have a desire to eat. We have a desire to procreate. We have a desire to accumulate wealth. We have a desire to vent our anger. We have a desire to assume the most beautiful cars. We have a desire to have nice clothes. We have a desire. Life is about desires. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. زين للناس حب الشهوات من النساء والبنين والقناطير المقنطرة من الذهب والفضة والخيل المسومة والأنعام والحرث ذلك متاع الحياة الدنيا والله عنده حسن المآب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He created in us that desire to, meet people, to have love relationships with, and to accumulate gold and silver and wealth and al-khayl al-musawwama, the equivalent of vehicles, cars, yachts. People like to assume these things. However, God told us in this ayah in Surah Al Imran that such are the pleasures of this life you are experiencing right now. But you have to train yourselves how to be in your desire a shakir and a sabir. And let me explain before I will finish my first khutbah. In every desire, you can be either a shakir or a sabir, either thankful or patient. Now, when you catch a glimpse of a woman, or for women, a man, who is attractive but is not lawful for you to look at, and if you turn your sight from that woman or from that man, or then you are a sabir. You controlled your desire in a right way, and you are patient. You don't look again. But when you are with your wife and the wife with her husband, and you beautify yourself for your wife and the wife for her husband, and you enjoy each other, then you are a shakir. You are thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have that desire, but you used it in a lawful way. That desire could have potentially led you to haram, but you didn't. And that's why you were patient. And when you are doing halal, then you are thankful. The same thing. You may acquire wealth the wrong way. You may cheat on people. You may have wrong business transactions, but you choose not to. So you are patient, seeing people in the same business who had reached in wealth way above you, but they did it by cheating and by stealing and by improper ways. But you say, no, I don't do that. You are patient even though you don't have what they have. But if you acquire your wealth the halal way, the lawful way, then when you get it, you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. When you thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'll give you more. I will increase you in sustenance. And one can talk about all desires. If you overeat and you overeat fast food, the wrong food, but you choose not to. You want to eat that which is healthy, even though the smell of fast food sometimes may be so tempting, but say, no, I'm not going to. During the month of Ramadan, when especially if you are in the food business and you serve people and you don't eat. See, if you go somewhere and you hide and you say, I'm going to just sneak a little, who is going to see you? No one except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why in the Hadith al-Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, كُلُّ عَمَلِ ابْنِ آدَمْ لَهُ إِلَّا الصَّوْمَ فَإِنَّهُ لِي. Why? Because while you are fasting, brothers, sisters, I'm standing here, I don't know, I'm seeing the same faces I see outside the month of Ramadan. I cannot really see your fasting. The only one who can see it and measure it and know exactly to what level in those 4.5 days you have reached is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why only Allah knows. And that's why He's saying, leave it to me. Leave it to me. Don't ask. You know, in Salat, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us that Salatun fi masjidi hada ta'adilu alfa salatin fi ma siwa ada al-masjid al-haram fa inna salata fihi ta'adilu mi'ata alfi salat. He gave us a scale. He said, if you pray at al-masjid al-nabawi in Medina, it will be equivalent to 1,000 salat at any other masjid. At al-masjid al-haram, it's 100,000 salat. There is a scale. You know, zakat, up to 700-fold if you give charity. But fasting, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, fast and leave it to me. Don't ask about numbers here. So we have to really now direct our attention the right way and learn one word: control. Control. Maybe there's another word I will use: discipline. Ramadan is all about learning self-discipline and how to control desires, how to control so many things, and hope, inshallah, that God, as He promised us, will take care of us. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين. Make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the month of dua. This is the month of dua. Make dua as much as you can. آمين يا رب العالمين. الحمد لله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My dear brothers, sisters, children, not too long ago, I forgot if I mentioned this before, but doesn't matter, I will mention it because the context is here. Not too long ago, I was coming back from Sarnia late at night. And I did not realize, as I left Sarnia and I was on the 402, that my gas indicator showed me the amber color, meaning that I was low on gas. And I started to get worried. You know, I know that I have passed the only service station on the highway before London, and things were getting a little bit more nervous. And after some time I said, that's it, I have to take the first exit and I have to take that risk. I don't know. So I took that exit, and it was pitch dark. It was scary. I started to become very worried. At that point, nothing mattered to me in life. Nothing, absolutely nothing. The only thing I was thinking about was to see a gas station. That's all. That's all that mattered to me. I forgot everything. And then, you know, I saw a light from a distance. I said, Ya Allah, make it a gas station. I got there, It was a gas station, but it was locked. There was nobody in that gas station. I started to become more nervous, and I kept going. And I was making dua, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. I don't want to, because if I run out, if I go dry on that stretch of the exit, it's pitched, anything could happen. Until, alhamdulillah, I saw a light from a distance, and there was the gas station. And I tell you, no one could have been happier than I was when I saw that gas station. So I filled gas, and I thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I learned my lesson to always keep enough in my tank. Brothers and sisters, how often in our life we see the amber light and we keep on going. We see that we are running dry on our iman, on our closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends us a gas station, sends us an iman station, sends us a month, a whole month to fill up. And let me just finish by saying, not that I'm encouraging you to pay more, because it's just for the equivalence but without cost. At any gas station, you may fill regular, you may fill premium, or you may put ultra. The same thing in Ramadan. There are people who are satisfied by filling just regular, and there are others who will fill premium, and others who will put ultra. Subhanallah. The same thing Al-Imam Al-Ghazali said about fasting. He said fasting belongs to three categories: Sawm al-Am, wa Sawm al-Khassa, wa Sawm Khassat al-Khassa. That fasting, people fall into three categories. Those who are average, they are satisfied with the basics. And those who do the extras, they are here for every qiyam, every tarawih, they read Quran, and there are the elite of the elite in their iman. And these are the ones who are only known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us to be among those people, and make this Ramadan, the 25 days left, or whatever days left, there will be days that will go up like this, not like this. Because remember, Laylatul Qadr is at the end. It's not the first 10 days of Ramadan, it's the last 10 days. So we want to keep on going up, and if not keeping on up till Jannah, at least have a little plateau, but don't go down. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وخطايانا وإسرافنا في أمرنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم علمنا من ديننا ما جهلنا وذكرنا منه ما نسينا وكن معنا ولا تكن علينا. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر.